Okay, so in this little video, we're going to be talking about dichotomous keys. And in particular, we're just going to show you an example of how to make a dichotomous key using these 6 Mr. Men. Your job is going to involve using all of the Mr. Men. We're just going to show you a little bit of how to do it just using those. So we've got to remember our rules for dichotomous keys. First of all, dichotomous means it must only have, we need one question per branch, and the question must be a yes/no question. So do they have hats on, yes or no? And that is the basis for your branching of the dichotomous key. I'm going to start off and show you how to do it, and I'll add to those rules as we go along. Apart from the fact that you need to do this with a pencil and you need a ruler to do all of the lines. Please remember that. Right, I'm going to just put Mr. Men at the top. Okay, as the whole group. The whole group is called Mr. Men. I'm going to put that into a box. I like the look of having a box for each of my questions and for the start. So our first question is going to be, does it have a hat? Okay, so I can just shorten that to hats question mark. Okay, so that means that we can then, let's do this bit first. So one branch is yes, and one branch is no. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Mr. Men with no hats on this side, and those with hats on this side. So no hats, we just plonk those there. The ones with hats, we just put over here. Okay, so I know what I'm dealing with on this side, I know what I'm dealing with on that side. Because it's simple, I've only got 2 there, I'm going to finish off that one first. They're both green, they're both wearing shoes. This one's got curly hair, that one's got straight hair. So remembering for dichotomous keys, you've got to look carefully at the organisms, in this case Mr. Men, to figure out what the differences are. So my next question is going to be curly hair, question mark. Okay, so again, yes or no for that one. Okay, so yes and no. So now we can start sticking things down, because this one doesn't have curly hair, and so he can go there, and this one does have curly hair, that's him there. That side of the key is done. Now we've got to finish off these guys. We've got 4 to fit in, so we've got to consider how we spread this out. That's why it's important to do it with a pencil and plan it a little bit before you go too far. Now if we have a look at these, we've got 2 sort of rectangular ones and 2 oval Mr. Men. That one's got a nose. Those 3 don't have noses. So we've got a few differences already. Because we've got 2 with rectangular bodies, 2 with oval bodies, even sort of spread, I'm going to have my next question as, does it have a rectangular body? Okay. Okay, and again we've got a yes and a no. So the rectangular bodied ones I'm going to put down here, and the oval ones we'll put there. Let's finish off these 2. Easy one. This has got a nose, that one doesn't have a nose. So let's have that as our next question. Yes, he's got a nose, plonk him there. No, he hasn't got a nose, plonk him there. We've got to fit these 2 in this little space here. And if we have a look at that, a couple of things we could do. can you see the mouth? Top hat versus not a top hat. Smiling versus not, we don't know if he's smiling or not. I'm going to go with top hat, question mark. Right, and there we have our Mr. Men. So in theory, what you could have is the names underneath here, and then you identify which one is which from there. Okay, so rules for dichotomous keys. 2 branches for each question. It's got to be a yes or no, and 1 organism or thing at the end of each branch. You couldn't end up with 2 here because that's not, you've got to differentiate them completely. Use a ruler, use a pencil, keep it nice and neat. I like to have the words in a rectangle just to make it look a bit neater. Okay, thank you. Okay, so rules for dichotomous keys. 2 branches for each question. It's got to be a yes or no, and 1 organism or thing at the end of each branch. You couldn't end up with 2 here because that's not, you've got to differentiate them completely. Use a ruler, use a pencil, keep it nice and neat. I like to have the words in a rectangle just to make it look a bit neater. Okay, thank you.